In the fringe outskirts of the human societies that follow food combining, we have many a myth, fallacy, driven by greed, hatred, milk. Let's find out what's the truth. Food combining, there's so many laws. Are any of them real? I have some thoughts. Some are real, some are lies. Which to avoid, I'll tell you.
Just let me be a monkey.
So in the food combining realm, there's some very obvious things that you would just avoid naturally. You would never eat like rice and beans topped with fruit and then mayonnaise and a hamburger on top and then pour soup into that whole thing. I don't think anybody in the history of the world has ever made a banana tomato salad. Who would do it? You just, no. But I wrote down some of the common rules here and we'll go through each one to decide whether it's based on truth or just like who comes up with some of this stuff just doesn't make any sense. So the major one is the starch and protein combination. You don't do that. So potatoes, the starch, with meat. Isn't that the American meal? Like that was, everybody's eating that. That's the complete meal. Your meat, potato, and a green veggie. It's in all the cartoons. In my opinion, this makes logical sense because they're so different. These foods are completely different. They're digested differently. Meat, you need so much stomach acid for that. And you combine it with something that doesn't need as much and requires different enzyme activity and different environments. You just like, potatoes want to leave the gut pretty quickly and then they're digested in the small intestine. Don't quote me on that. And then meat is like more of a stomach based thing. So if you eat them together, meat wants to hang there for days. Not that human beings should be eating meat. What are you doing? A cat would eat some meat, poo it out within like 8 hours. You ever have a cat? They poo a lot. They get rid of it quick. But you on your keto diet, I only poo twice a week now. I'm so efficient because I absorb it all. No, a cat doesn't absorb it all. They poo. You freak. You're holding on for dear life. There's so many reasons why starch and protein don't mix well together. You don't find it in nature. The only combination is a bean that has a decent amount of starch and some protein, and they don't digest well on its own. You can't eat it together with itself. That's how bad those are. So it could be because of that. Why do beans even exist? What's the point? You don't need protein. Look at the amount of protein in my body. Ow. There's so much protein. Ow. So not only are there completely different digestive environments required to digest these foods, you're combining now sugar with fat and protein. That's leading to diabetes. If you want great blood sugars, you remove the fat. I hardly ever have fat now. I might get some avocado soon to have like once a week, a quarter of it, and let the rest rot in the night. But if you have diabetes, the way to fix it is to lower the fat. That's just truth. You can argue all you want down there. Your keto diet is just avoiding sugar. Try adding a bunch of fruit now and you're gonna spike. You didn't heal a damn thing. Remove the fat. Don't combine the starch and protein. Sugar and fat bad. Bad news. So that leads us into the obvious carbs and fat. You know my stance now. Just from what I've studied over the years, you know that I've always switched diets from high carb to high fat. I don't do both. I've tried little spurts. Those little experiments never ended well for me. In books like the Zone Diet, which is like 40% carbs, 30% fat, 30% protein, it's like an even mix. The dumbest diet. The fattiest fad diet in the bookshelves at your Value Village across America. There's a reason people give those books away. They don't work, and then you're like, well, that sucked. Maybe this will help somebody. Yeah, help them die. In nature, you don't find a lot of high fat, high sugar. There's like, durian? Which is not even that high fat. It's like 25% fat. It just tastes creamy. Creamier than it should be. Even cauliflower. You cook some cauliflower and blend it, that's cream. It tastes like fatty cream. There's cheese recipes. I used to make them. Nutritional yeast, cauliflower, little salt, little lemon. Don't ever eat salt. If you make that recipe, I will kill you. It's on my channel. I should delete it.
You're gonna steam the cauliflower and then blend up the rest of the ingredients.
But not the dry pasta. Don't blend the dry pasta, silly goose.
So in my opinion, don't combine sugar or starch with fat or protein. So eat your fruits alone, eat your starchy meals alone. Never eat meat. But if you do, you criminal scammer, eat it alone and die alone forever. Just use some common sense. Fat and protein slow down digestion massively. And if you add fast digesting foods like fruit and carbs like starches, potatoes, you don't want to slow down the speedy runners. You're asking a sprinter to jog. Just try to jog. See how long it can take you to get there. You're gonna crush his soul. Now let me just say, with all these rules, amounts matter so much. There's many foods, like all fruits have some fat, and obviously it doesn't inhibit the digestion of the sugar, but when you go overboard with it, you start adding like 3 cups of rice to 3 avocados. Like, it's just too much of each. And the more you eat, oh my god, I touched it. The more you eat in one meal, that matters too. If you have like 1 cup of rice with maybe a quarter avocado, oh no, you're combining sugar and fat, but it's not that bad. It's not that much. So relax. Well, it's not the Alcatraz over here, but amounts matter. Now here we get into some weird rules that I don't know have any bounding in reality. Acids and starches. I've heard it. Don't combine potatoes with tomatoes. Don't have your pasta sauce, tomato sauce, on a pasta. Doesn't make any sense to you. We have stomach acid. Anything you eat is going to be mixed with acid, you piece of moron. Calm down. If you believe in the don't combine acid with starches rule, then don't swallow starch ever, because it will be combined with your acid. You can't avoid it. You can't avoid that trip. Now the argument could be made, tomatoes digest much faster than potatoes would. Mixing them could, when I look at rules, it's like this high water stuff, raw fruits and vegetables, mixed with something much denser. That could spell trouble for you. It might. So like, don't combine potatoes and tomatoes for that reason, but not because of the acid. If you added lemon to a potato, most likely it would digest better. Like, you're adding acid, you're helping your stomach acid. And people are saying the same thing with fruits. Don't combine acid fruits with sweet fruits. And if you just look at it, like, why? What is the reasoning behind that? Like, look into it, think logically. An orange, acid fruit, tons of sugar in it. Don't combine it with this other sugar though. These sugars don't get along. What are you talking about? A date and an orange. Both sugar, one has more acid. Don't combine an orange with itself because it's acid and the sugar. Remove the sugar first, obviously, and then take the acid. Again, common sense might say dates are very dense, oranges very high water content. Eating them together could be some gurgling going on, but for the most part, I mean, the best smoothie I ever had in my youth was orange juice and bananas. Fantastic. Stop dividing the fruits up. Oh, there's acid, subacid though. Oh, don't look over there. They can almost get along, but not quite. And sweet fruits and acid and subacid. There's too many categories. Just eat fruit. And Dr. Morris, why do you say fruit, berries, and melons? They're all fruit. Berries are fruit. Melons are fruit. They're fruits. There's not 3 different fruit. So in my opinion, these rules, people take it too far. Just try not to eat super high water content fruits and vegetables with cooked, denser foods and fatty stuff especially. Like, they're so different. Just try not to eat too different a scale of food. The densest meat with watermelon. Like the fruit and meat diet, what are you doing? You can't eat that together. That's diabetes, stomach ulcers. Fuck you. Don't eat fast digesting foods after you eat a slow digesting food. Don't eat a big steak and then have a watermelon. Marathon runner's going, sprinter behind, he's like trying to get by, but he knows he can't. It's too blocked. He's just punching people in the back. It's not going to end well for you. And I'm sure some of you don't believe that food combining is real. Just for this video, I did a little experiment. I had my potato meal with maple syrup just to see. I knew that simple sugars and a denser complex carb would not combine well, and they didn't. I was burping more, like a lot more. It was noticeable. And a freak combination, for some reason I can't digest butternut squash with regular potatoes. Squash is a fruit, so technically it's too simply in its sugar-like abilities to be combined with that denseness. So I get the heartburn like crazy. It's just fermenting carbs. Bad news. So it's real, absolutely real. I can feel it in my body. You feel it. I myself prefer sequential food combining, where you eat the higher water content, faster digesting food first, and then wait a bit for a denser thing. So I eat 2 meals a day. One's a fast digesting fruit meal, and then the more dense starch meal. I eat the salad before that because I feel like the raw leafy green salad will digest faster than potatoes. I just do that. Salad first, then the potato meal. I think if you ate the potato meal, then the salad, and then the fruit meal later in the day, that would be bad. So just do it like that. It's very simple. Just don't complicate. Why do you gotta put so many things in your meal? Recipes? Who does that? All these different ingredients and takes you hours in the kitchens. Like, get an Instapot, throw a bunch of potatoes in there, combine sweet potatoes and regular. Wow. Oh no, they're different starch molecules. Oh, they'll never digest well together. So that's how I do it. Do you have any rules that you follow, or is any of this just all bullshit? And you're just like, whatever, buddy. I have steak and eggs with toast and then a coffee. That's a nice breakfast for you. Gives you the energy after you knock yourself out. Makes sense. I get the logic. Eat a heavy meal, you put to sleep, but then, well, here, I'm back. Got the coffee. Try it. I've never tried it. I want to. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to go make pasta with that cheese sauce and then drink coffee. I'm going to go. Tell me your rules. Post them down below after you thumb up the video. Thumbs down if you think less about this than I do. You just eat food. Oh boy, this is heading bad. Change it. Thumbs down if you are making a soup right now. It's an egg soup mixed with mayonnaise, berries, vinegar, and soy-related vinegar. You didn't even know they made that, did you? Why are you using it? It's new to humans. So how could it digest well or be good for us? Just use logic and you'll be fine. I'm gonna go. I was gonna grab your subscribing to my channel, but it fell.